I think this is a good idea, a very good idea to reach out on election issues. I was wondering whether or not you will also, because eventually you will need to have offices, election offices throughout the country, or electoral commission throughout the country, to reach out in person to people, because it is true that internet can help you to reach faster, but to explain more a two-way street, it would be good if people from the electoral commission or election office could educate people about election, about how the procedure goes during election. That will also help people to understand more what election is all about and how election represents democracy. And I think my question is whether or not you will be later on put up offices, election offices throughout the country.
Most definitely, we will have a voter outreach program. And in fact, as you know, that the letters we've written to all the various missions, we've also talked about that. We need a voter education process, and indeed a period in which we will be educating voters. Fiji has never really had an elections office outside Suva. It's always been run through Suva. But you've had, for example, divisional commission officers that have had ad hocly, they've set up various offices. But we intend to, as we've said, have more of an integrated approach through cyberspace, of course through physically going out, but also having various outlets available to allow people to register, to make amendments to their registration details, etc. Most definitely that'll be done. Of course, once the constitution is in place and the system that's adopted for the actual elections, that of course people need to be educated on also. And so a lot of that depends on, as soon as the constitution comes into place, then we can go full hog in terms of the registration details and the education of it.
Minister, let me congratulate you and your ministry for organizing this website. It's very useful, and it does provide access for the general public, including ourselves, who have been meeting with you and following the issues here. One of the questions I have is whether you will also, and it depends on where it appears, whether it comes as a standalone link, is to just, for the general knowledge of everybody, the timeline, the roadmap that you show in terms of the different phases that you go through until September 2014. Whether you're going to provide something, just a simple structure of the phases that you have gone through, in terms of just making people aware of the process towards elections.
Okay. Sure, no, that's something worth taking on board also, definitely.
To the awareness, voter awareness, definitely the Assembly is about to be announced that we'll be looking at the draft constitution. Based on that, the electoral system, the new electoral system that will be used. By when the elections office, as far as the office's target is, by when will they start with the awareness on the new electoral system and the new boundaries or other things that may come into effect after the draft?
I think once the new constitution is assented to, which will then have the details of the electoral system itself in terms of, proportional representation, what type of boundaries, whether it's multi-member, single-member, etc. Once that is all decided, then the elections office will be better placed to carry out that, voter education. We've also, written to our development partners, asking them to, if they see they can provide, a partnership with us, or have a partnership with us in terms of educating. So there are some missions who have sort of indicatively shown that there may be some interest in that. So we'll of course have to then look at the resources and the timing of it as to when exactly we'll start. But definitely it needs to be done, and that will be carried out. I mean, for example, if you have proportional representation in multi-member constituencies, that's obviously never happened in Fiji before. So people need a bit of a lead time in terms of educating them about it. We of course have still about, our estimates indicate another 100,000 Fijians who need to be registered. Our indicative figures show that perhaps there's about 620,000 voters, or 620,000 Fijians who are eligible to be registered, eligible for registration. So far we've registered 505,000, so we know 5-6 of the way there. There of course are some overseas, and that will give some more figures in terms of filling up that gap between 505,000 and 620,000. But there are still some people who are yet to turn 18, and our estimates show that they'll make up a significant proportion of that. So all that will need to be carried out.
505,000, the electoral roll, that's the cleaned up roll after all those
Yes.
issues that have come up.
Yes. See, now it's easier to, of course, clean it, so to speak, because you already have 505,000 who are clean. So you need to just work with the new ones that come in. It's also now an offense to, try and register yourself more than once. As you know, we had that problem.
What's the penalty?
I can't remember offhand, but it's a criminal offense.
The deadline is tomorrow. And of course, the majority of the parties, while they're saying they will apply, based on the decree, they would not be able to re-register by tomorrow because there's a process to be followed. What happens to the parties as of after the deadline tomorrow?
Well, immediately after the deadline, if somebody has not complied with the various requirements under the decree, an existing political party cannot hold itself out to be a political party until such time as they are fully compliant with the decree. That's a simple answer to that. In respect of those, of course, new political parties or people who want to register new political parties, there's no timeline for them. I mean, they can register next year, they can register in 3 months' time. I think there was one group that was under the misapprehension that they needed to register within 28 days, but they're not an existing political party and they've been told that.